this is now part 2 of our discussion for residential zones on how to compute for the AMDF and the maximum PSO. Ano nga ba yung chat box? Okay. So, meron pa kayong mga questions na idadagdag bago tayo proceed? May question po, how about the variances po? May mga instances so kasi na in actual, yung setback na 3 meters in front, especially the owner was overhang more beyond 3 meters setback. Kasi po kasi depende din kay City Hall, i-allow nila yung zoning lang po. May ganun po ba na daw tandaan, parang hindi nila yung ganun situation. Yes, pwede i-allow yung tatawag na variances or exemptions na hindi masusunod yung required na setbacks. No? Kapag may mga situations na nag-a-apply, na i-apply mo, na magkaroon ng variance, ang requirement lang dyan sa mga variance na yan is at least any two of the development controls na nire-require ay makapply mo. Any two, not either setbacks, either open space requirements, either building height, either window requirements, either floor area requirements, and so on. So any two na makapply mo will be okay as long as it will not affect the general character of the area and of course will not affect, will not have an impact on public health and safety. So yun lang ang pinaka-guidelines yan. So question, for land use, if a developer buys a big parcel of land, are they allowed to change or determine what the use of the land will be? Kapag big parcel of land and then if they apply it for a planned unit development, then kapag planned unit development, ang magiging application nila for that large tract of land, for example, Meralco, pwede mag-iba-iba mga uses ng land within the whole property. They can plan it, prepare a master plan and designate what will be the uses for a particular area. Basta the whole area is classified as a PUD, planned unit development. Na-apply naman yun para i-convert maging PUD ang development kung malalaking areas sa lang. Okay, so we now proceed. So once you have already applied the necessary, the minimum setbacks doon sa lote mo, na-drawing mo yung lote, i-apply the minimum setbacks, you can now compute for the AMDF, based on those on the minimum setback requirements. Ang ano kasi sa building footprint, yung footprint is from the outermost face ng exterior walls ng building. So lahat na nasa loob nun, dahil ang ginagamit na reference ay ang setback. Ang setback kasi is from the outermost face ng wall up to the property line. So yung nasa loob na nun ay kasali sa AMDF. Can we negotiate with the building official regarding the setback requirements as long as there is light and ventilation in the airwell? Basta as per the new regulations, kapag ang bagong ang lote mo is in a newly developed area, newly developed subdivision, minimum of firewalls is only 2. Hindi pwede i-enclose mo yung lote mo ng 3 firewalls at maglalagay ka lang ng airwell. Pwede yun sa mga existing built up areas na inalaw nila dati pa magkaroon ng 3 firewalls. Kaya sa mga, like for example, even the current, yung location ng Atlas Review Centers, yung building na yun, makita ko 3 firewalls niya. Dahil inaalaw noon 3 firewalls. Pero ngayon, sa bagong requirement na to, dapat tayo hanggang 2 lang. That is for light and ventilation purposes. So, sa mga bagong developments, you will not be allowed anymore. 3 firewalls. And then, you cannot also go beyond the maximum length required for the firewalls. Can we negotiate with regarding the setback requirements? Ang ganun din, ang setback requirements ay yung nasa table na to is applicable only for newly developed subdivision. Kapag existing built up areas, titingnan mo ano ang prevailing na setback requirements doon sa area na yon. Dahil ang nag-check niyan ng setback compliance sa setback requirements ay hindi nag-check niya ng setback requirements ay ang locational, yung pag-ano mo ng locational clearance mo. Kine-check nila, pupunta yan mga taga City Hall, City Planning Office to check yung mga prevailing setback sa area. At pagdating din ng pag natayo na yung building mo, sinusukat nila yan. Mula sa outer face ng wall hanggang sa property line mo. Hindi sa column kundi outermost face ng wall. So hindi building official ang mag-aano yan. Mag-check ng setback, yung planning office. At hindi na pwede i-negotiate yung 2 meters because that is the standard ever since, the side and the rear. Okay, so going back. So this is now, kapag meron kayong lote na drawing at nilagay mo ang minimum setbacks, then from there, you can now get the area that will be the maximum building footprint using the minimum setbacks. So halimbawa, yan, supposedly ang formula na nakikita nyo sa libro, pero if you are going to use that formula, medyo mahaba ang computation. The best way to compute for the AMDF using the minimum setbacks is this one. You have the lot dimension, then i-apply mo yung minimum setbacks na requirements sa front, kung wala kang firewall, front, sides, and rear. Ibawas mo lang sa dimension ng property mo. Like for example, the depth of the lot minus the front and the rear, makuha mo yung depth ng building, at yung frontage ng property less the side setbacks, makuha mo yung width ng building. So which means na from there, makukuha mo na kaagad ang area. So makuha mo yung dimension dito, pag multiply mo yan, makuha mo yung area ng green portion, that will now be your AMDF. The maximum portion that can be occupied, taken at grade level. Okay? It is the true buildable area on which a fully enclosed building can be erected. It exclude provisions for courts at grade level. So meron kang court requirement dyan sa grade level. So tingnan natin, this is just one portion of determining the maximum PSO. This one is based on the minimum setbacks. And ito rin, ang nabanggit ko kanina is kung wala kang firewall. Now, how about if you will have a firewall? So this is now the one. Determining now the AMBF with firewall. Can you go to page 81 to 83 of your book? This is a very important provision. Kailangan medyo memorize nyo ito dahil lumalabas ito sa day 1 exam. Kailangan ma-memorize ha. So unfortunately, medyo ano to, walang drawings kaya medyo mahirap i-memorize ng konti. So para mas madali natin maintindihan ito, no? Starting with this number 3, absolutely no firewalls for R1. Gawan natin ng drawing muna ha, para mas madali maintindihan. So we start with R1. Absolutely no firewalls will be allowed for R1. Kung meron kang carport, no? Nandiyan sa side na yan ang carport, bawal carport sa front yard, no? Nasa side yan. At may bubong yung carport, and yung carport na yon will have a wall at the side that will be supporting that roof structure. Yung wall na yon should be constructed not like a firewall. You can only construct what you call an abutment wall. It is called an abutment wall because it is not solid all throughout. The solid part of this wall is only up to 1.5 meters high. Above that will be perforated or decorative concrete blocks. So meron mga openings yung wall. That abutment wall should be up to a height only of 3.2 meters for the purpose of supporting that carport roof only. The length of that abutment should only be up to a 7 meters length maximum, or not exceeding more than 50% of the side property line, whichever of the two is shorter or more stringent. Okay, palagi mga ganyang rules ha. Whichever is the more stringent. Palagi nag-aano yan dito sa development controls. Ina-apply yan. We go now to R2. Whether that is basic R2 or basic R3, you are now allowed to have 2 firewalls. Sorry, 1 firewall pala for R2. You can have the firewall only at the side, whether the left or the right side of your property, wherein that firewall length is not to exceed more than 80% of the length of that side property line. The height of the firewall, walang sinabi, it can be the same as the height of the building, maximum height of the building. Okay? So, meron mga instances na pag kinompute mo yung maximum allowable na length ng firewall, it is more than the maximum dimension of the building. In that case, whatever is that area will be your AMBF. No? I-green na lang natin dito kasi sabi nila paano pa yung web. Ngayon naman, in some instances, pag kinompute yung 80% no, ng length ng side property line, yung malabas yung firewall is shorter than the maximum building dimension, then it means you have to get first the AMBF without firewall, then add this area due to firewall construction. Paano yung na-apply ganyan? Halimbawa, I'll give you an example. This is a, let's say, a basic R2 zone. Halimbawa, lot natin is 15 meters. So which means ang front natin is 3 and this one is 2. So the maximum building depth is 10 meters. Can you give me 80% of 15? How much is that? 80%? Ay. Hindi na nag-display yung slide ko. Nakikita yung slide ko? Sabi nyo sa hindi ko nag-display. Okay naman ang slides. Nakikita. Okay. So ibig sabihin na 12 meters is the maximum. But 12 meters is longer than the building dimension of 10 meters. So ibig sabihin we can use the 10 meters and then just multiply it with whatever is this dimension, you can get the area already. The problem is kapag ganito, let's say this is 40 meters. We apply this 3 and 2. The building dimension maximum will be 35. So can you give me the 80% of 40? That is 32. Okay, so it means na yung 32 times 2 meters, that will be the additional area. Due to firewall construction, you have to get this AMBF first without firewall and add this area. Ganun yun, ha? And then, may mga instances na kasama dyan sa length na yan ang tinatawag na extension. Kasi meron extension ang ibang firewall na 600 sa side. So, may extension na 600, babawas mo yan. 600 na extension. So, magiging additional area mo is only that portion. 32 less 0.6, less 0.6. Ilan yan? 32 minus 1.2, that will be 30.8 times 2 meters. Yung magiging additional area mo. Okay? Then, we go to R3. So we now have, for R3, you're allowed to have 2 firewalls. Okay? You can have your firewalls at both sides, or you can have your firewall at the side and at the rear. So that if you have a firewall at both sides, the maximum length at any side should not be more than 85% of that side property line. And the total of the 2 firewalls should not be more than 65% of the perimeter length of the property. Again, whichever of the 2 requirements is more restrictive, you should apply. Kung mas restrictive yung 85% sa bawat side, follow. Or kung mas restrictive yung 65%, follow the 65% perimeter. Okay, the same rule kanina, kung lumalabas na mahaba yung allowable kaysa sa maximum building dimension, then you can easily get that dimension, that will be your AMBF. And in cases na lumalabas mas shorter yung firewall length kaysa sa building dimension, it means you have to get first the AMBF without firewall and add this area due to firewall construction. The maximum height of this firewall is limited to 2 stories only. Okay? That is the reason why yung mga row houses, although sa R3, pwede kang basic R3, pwede kang hanggang 3 floors, pero mga row houses, ang tendency ay 2 stories lang dahil dito sa limit ng firewall na 2 stories. Now, we have another type of construction for R3. Ito yung side and rear firewall construction. That firewall length of any side, the side or the rear, should not be more than 90% of the side, rear not more than 90% of the rear length, and the total of the 2 firewalls is not to exceed more than 50% of the perimeter length of the property. And if the lot is narrow, less than 4 meters wide, then it is you can have a firewall 100% of the rear and also the side, as long as it is not more than the total of the two, not more than 50% of the perimeter. Now the height of the side of the firewall is up to 2 stories only, but the rear is up to 3.2 meters. So ito nga sabi natin kanina na pag may side and rear, always the rear is shorter than the side. So ito yung explanation bakit lumalabas na 2 floors lang ang row house. So gawa tayo ng elevation ng isang row house unit na 3 floors. Kasi basic R3 ay 3 floors, no? So halimbawa ang isang unit is 5 meters wide. Yan ang ground floor elevation mo. Second floor elevation, sabi ang firewall is only up to 2 stories high. Which means that the third floor, you have to apply now the minimum setbacks at the sides, which is 2 meters. So lumalabas na naiiwan sa third floor, ayan na lang. Di ba? Ang saya-saya ng design. Naglagay pa ng third floor. Kaya ginagawa na lang, instead of having another floor, although allowed, is just to have the roof. Kaya lumalabas, the row house is mostly 2 stories. Unlike sa R4, sa R4 zone, kaya doon karamihan ang townhouses nakalocate dahil sa R4, hanggang 3 floors ang firewall. So, ibig sabihin, kung hanggang 3 floors ang firewall, ma-occupy yan ng isang buong floor ng townhouse bago ang bubong, kaya mas marami ang floor areas ng townhouse, mas expensive. Okay, so let's now go to R4. Ito yung R4 natin, hanggang 2 sides lang ng lot ang pwedeng lagyan ng firewall, whether that is a townhouse or another development in an R4 zone. The length at any side of the side property line should not be more than 85%, same as R3 kanina. However, hindi na 60%, no? 50% na lang ng perimeter ang allowed na total length ng dalawang firewalls. Height is 3 stories. And then for R5, we have this requirement. Also 2 types of firewall construction. You can have it at both sides or you can have it at the side and at the rear. So that if you have firewalls at both sides, this one is not more than 75%. This one is not more than 75% of the side property line. This one not more than 75% of the side property line. So irregular lot yan, ha? And the 2 firewalls, total length should not be more than 50% of the perimeter length. Whichever again is the more restrictive or stringent requirement. Kung mas stringent 75%, follow the 75%. Kung mas stringent ang 50%, follow the 50%. Now, the maximum height for this firewall is only up to 8 stories. Therefore, lumalabas ang maximum podium height for an R5 building is na may firewall is up to 8 floors only. And above that, you can now have the necessary setbacks. And that setbacks at the 8th floor is different from the setback at grade level because you have a required incremental setbacks, no? If the building is more than 2 stories already. Now, if you have a firewall at the side and at the rear, the requirement is not more than 65% of the side and the rear is not more than 50% of the rear property line. So take note na mas maganda na huwag mo munang isama ito na nasa kanto, no? Kasi yung dimension ng dandi dito, nakasama dito, pati ito nakasama doon. Unless na-determine mo na mahaba ka talaga ang maximum allowable, kaya pang this one will still be within the allowable length. At saka ito rin, then you can add this one. Pero kung hindi naman, the best way is to exclude muna yung nasa kantong yan. If the maximum length is shorter than the building dimension, then iwasan mo muna itong portion nito. So you get this area, A and BF without firewall, and add that additional area to the firewall construction if the firewall length is shorter than the building dimensions. Then the height for this firewall is up to 8 floors, and the rear firewall, then suwaba dapat, should only be up to 40 meters or a little below 5 floors. Okay, so that is the requirement. Sa unang part ng mga exercises ko, wala pang mga problems masyado na tawag dito, that will influence the building footprint based on the firewall length. Pero yung mga susunod meron na, so you have to be aware of that, mga maximum length requirements. So ito yung nakalagay na formula sa libro. Pagkuha daw ng AMBF na may firewall, you have to compute first the AMBF without firewall and add the additional area due to firewall construction. Pero you only apply that kapag may click yung firewall length. Halimbawa, yung nakuha yung maximum building dimension, and then you computed the firewall length, lumalabas ang maximum length is shorter than the maximum building dimension. You make use of the maximum firewall length and multiply it with the setback to get that additional area. This one. This one is yung initial area. Pero naman, kung ang lumalabas na maximum building dimension mo at na-compute mo na yung maximum firewall length mo, the maximum firewall length is longer than the building dimension, then para mas shorter na lang ang procedure, just get the whole area. This dimension times that dimension. Doon na lang kasimple. Okay? So from there, kung nakuha mo na yung AMDF based sa setbacks, you can now compute for the maximum PSO also based on the minimum setbacks. So dito lang yan, it is your AMDF, divide it by the TLA. So ganyan na, ang comparison natin kanina. We were able to compute for the actual based on drawings. So pinakita ko sa inyo. Ang na-compute natin is what we call the building footprint. Hindi AM, but BF only. Building footprint, the actual. And then you can get the actual PSO. Not maximum PSO, but PSO only. Wherein you use the actual building footprint divided by the total lot area. Now to compute for the allowable, you only make use of the book. You don't need to draw. You only have to draw the lot siguro. And then you can compute now for the AMBF. And then for the AMBF, you can compute for the maximum PSO. Wherein you make use of the AMBF and divide it by the TLA. Huwag niyong i-confuse itong allowable versus actual. Kasi yung iba, pinapa-compute maximum PSO, ang ginagamit ay ang actual building footprint over the TLA. Hindi ko pwede kasi iba ito. Maximum ito. Kaya gawin mo maximum. Ito actual, kailangan yung actual na kinukuha mo ay actual din. So hindi pwedeng ihalo. Ay ang karamihang mistake ng iba. Pinaghahalo-halo yung actual versus allowable. So I hope medyo clear na sa inyo ito. Any question pertaining to this one? If not, can we have an example? You can open your handouts. Can you get your handouts? Anong page ito sa handouts? Yung module number 1. Page 3 of your handouts, you have this R1. Ito magagamit natin palagi na explain. Palagi ito yung example na gagamitin ko. Yung R1 zone na to na 301 square meter lot na inside lot, 14 meters wide frontage. So ito yung lumalabas na question na you are to compute for the allowable maximum building footprint as well as the allowable maximum PSO. Ginagawa kong ganito ang natin na max PSO para hindi na confuse sa PSO lang. So ito na lang convention. So you are to compute, base dito sa if you are to read the question, based on applicable provisions of Section 804, Rule 8. So ibig sabihin nito, you are to compute the AMBF based on this provision, Section 804. And what is Section 804? It means the minimum setbacks. Ganito pag-apply niyan, ha? This one is not necessary. This is only for explanation purposes. The example that I have used here is the suggested minimum lot size of for R1 of 301 square meters, wherein the lot is 14 meters wide by 21.5 meters deep. Okay. And Section 804 is now the table for the minimum setbacks for R1. We have 4.5, 2, and 2. So you apply that. So drawing mo yung lote na ano kanina 14 by 21.5. Apply the 4.5, 2, and 2. You can now determine the A and B. Okay, so ito yung lalabas na drawing. Nakikita mo yung drawing na to na nasa libro nyo. Page 134 of your book. Okay. So page 134 of your book, nakalagay dyan, A and BF under Rule 7, pero using the setbacks in Rule 8. Ang gulo, ano? Kasi yung nakalagay na statement sa Rule 7, use setbacks in Rule 8. Ang setbacks kasi nasa Rule 8. Okay, yan. So makita mo dyan, ang mga setbacks in apply, 4.5, 2, and 2. Para mas madali maintindihan ito, lagyan natin ng kulay ang drawing. Gawin natin mas makulay ang daigdig natin. So yan, pakitingin muna sa computer screen nyo. Ito yung lote natin, 14 meters by 21.5. Mag-drawing ka muna ng kahon sa loob. Okay? Signify meron kang mga setbacks, lagyan mo yung nasa unahan. And then, ilagay mo na yung dimension. 2 and 2 sa sides, ibig sabihin kung 14 meters wide minus 2 and 2, ang building width mo is 10. At kung 21.5 ang lalim ng lote minus the front setback of 4.5 and 2 at the rear, that will mean the building depth is 50. So that means yung area ng yellow box is what you call now the AMBF, which is 10 by 15 or 150 square meters, and its corresponding maximum PSO is 49.8%, which you can round up to 50% later on. Okay, take note na this one is based on the minimum setbacks dahil yun naman pinag-nakalagay na tanong based on Section 804. Ngayon, kapag ang AMBF at maximum PSO natin ay nakabase sa minimum setbacks, para mas malinaw, nilagyan ko ng ganitong subscript S. Ang ibig sabihin yan, galing yan sa minimum setbacks. Ba't ko nilalagay ito? Kasi hindi actually yan lang ang basihan mo sa pag-determine ng maximum PSO. Ito lang ang malabas ng maximum PSO based on the minimum setbacks as per the question. Paano kung iba na yung question? You have to now determine the final maximum PSO by comparing it with the other maximum PSO values in the other tables. And this is now the rule. Kailangan i-compare mo ang iba-ibang table. We have a table for the maximum percent allowable PSO. Table 8 is the minimum setbacks and other applicable stipulations. The more stringent, not applicable, should be the one to be observed. Ibig sabihin, the lowest value among those different maximum PSO that you will derive from these three references, yung pinakamababa, should be the maximum. The one that we observe. So, tingnan natin, kaya na yung number 2 na table ng setbacks na magamit na natin. Punta natin yung table na isa na to. So, yung table ng minimum setbacks, lagyan nyo naman ng temporary tab. Isa yan sa mga napaka-importanting pages, importanting table. The next important na table na lagyan ng tab, ito yung table 8.1 na ito. Ito yung table 8.1 na maximum PSO. Makikita nyo dito, so unang column is the allowable maximum PSO. Unfortunately, walang R1 dito. So, hindi mo ito magagamit for R1. Nag-start lang ito sa R2, basic. And the rest, bababa yan. So, meron dalawang lumalabas na value. Percentage ito total area, 55%, 60%. Ibig sabihin ng 60% na ito may F, no? Yan ay kung may firewall. Ito ay walang firewall. Okay? So, kapag R1, hindi mo kailangan tingnan ito. Kapag hindi R1, the other zones, you have to refer also to this table. Now, another, or kung meron pang zoning ordinance, no, na mas stringent kaysa dito, then you have also to check on that. And then, the other one is this, applicable stipulations. At meron pang isang table, nakikita mo, table 7.1 naman ito. Actually, nagkadoble yung table 7.1 na number. Yung unang table natin kanina is also table 7.1. Yung unang table na binuksan natin, yung building use classification. This one is also table 7.1, allowable maximum TGSA. Pero nakalagay dito, based on the allowable. Percentage of site occupancy, at nakalagay dito, allowable. So makikita mo dito is yan, yung percentages na yan. Percentages of the TLA. Yan lumalabas na maximum PSO. Nakikita mo na nagbabago ang percentage based on the type of lot. Versus kanina sa table 8.1, na regardless ka ng type of lot, yun ang percentage. So dito nag-iiba-iba ang percentage. Huwag nyo na muna pakialaman yung number na yung sarapan na nakita yung may percentage lang. That is the maximum PSO. This is without firewalls, starting with R1. So magagamit mo to for R1. Lahat naman kayo ay orange na libro, ano? Yung orange na libro ay edited portion na. Kasi merong yung downloadable na version ay merong mali. Merong na-miss out na mga information. So, yan. So, once you have now those different values, the maximum PSO, get the most stringent. Okay? Most stringent means the lower, no, will be your allowable maximum. It must prevail. Another table, pwedeng gawing reference pero optional na to, you don't need this one, but you have to be familiar with this table. This is table 8.g points. This is the minimum POSL or open space requirement. So ito na, sasabi ko sa inyo kanina na ito ang ginagamit ngayon sa mga new developments na open space requirements. Hindi yung nasa drawing kanina ng mga different lot types. So makikita mo kung yan ang lumalabas without firewalls, no, this one, this is with firewalls. Kung ito yung open space, ibig sabihin the other part ng lot is not the open space but the building, AMBF, no, or the maximum PSO. So kung 50% ang open space, the other 50% is the one for the building. So yan ang magiging maximum PSO natin. So you only have to deduct yung open space na from 100% will be your maximum PSO. Bakit sinabing optional? Kasi makukuha mo maximum PSO dito is either the same as doon sa table 8.1 mo or parehas doon sa table 7.1. Kaya no need. Pero kailangan ko ipakita sa inyo para maging familiar din kayo sa table na to. Kasi minsan may tinatanong na very specific nire-refer sa table 8.g.6. Nakatulog na si De Castro. Kung ano natatype na niya sa, sa chat box. Okay, so let us napindot ng libro. Alam ko nakatulog ka na. So let us go back to our example na R1. So ito na kayo magiging tanong. So siguro mapapansin nyo, iba na yung question. Wala na yung based on section 804. But the question is directly asking for the AMBF and the allowable maximum PSO, which means that you are to get now the most stringent. Okay, so tignan natin paano pinakuha most stringent. Nakuha natin kanina yung natin AMBF based on the minimum setback which is 150 square meters. At ang maximum PSO natin ay 49.8%. Punta tayo sa table 8.1, walang R1, hindi natin magagamit ito. Punta tayo sa table 7.1, inside lot tayo, R1, sabi 50%. No? Ito yung R1, 50% ng ating maximum PSO. So 50% of our TLA natin ay 301, will give you an AMBF of 150.5 square meters. Okay, so tingnan natin. Yan ang unang computation natin based sa minimum setbacks. At ito naman ang sa table 7.1. At ang rule natin is get the most stringent, the lowest value. As simple as that. Pero kahit na ganun kasimple ito kasabi ko, may iba pa rin na hindi makuha-kuha yung rule na yan hanggang sa kahuli-hulihang sandali. Hindi talaga, pag tinatanong ko na yung maximum PSO, hindi pa rin nagko-compare. Kailangan ang rule ay compare palagi, kunin ang pinakamaliit na value. Kaya nga ang ginawa kong handouts nyo ay parang manual, work manual, at nakaganyan, nakatabulate ng ganyan para mas madali nyo masundan. Ha? Nakita mo, dito ay may nakalagay na S at galing sa table 7.1. Pagdating dito, wala nang nakalagay, ibig sabihin yan na yung pinaka-final, the most stringent. Maliwanag ba? Ha? Any questions? Any other questions? So you can round off this one, 49.8 to 50%. Nagwala ng questions? Okay, you have this homework. Anong time na ba? Ayan. So you can do this after lunch. So you have this R1 zone. Check your handouts. Nandito yan. 450 square meter lot. Inside lot 15 meters wide frontage. Compute for the AMBF and maximum PSO. Then you have your problem number 2 is basic R2 zone, 96 square meter lot, corner lot. Also compute for the AMBF maximum PSO if the building shall not have a firewall, even though you're allowed to have a firewall. And also compute for the AMBF maximum PSO. Wala nakalagay na phrase na if the building shall not have a firewall, it means that you are to provide a firewall because allowed ka naman to have a firewall. And then we have this third problem. It's also basic R2 but 384 square meter lot. The same thing, get the AMBF maximum PSO without firewall and with firewall. And that's it. So I'll see you after lunch and please do the necessary computations. Ilagay nyo na dyan sa handouts nyo, sa manual nyo, and get the final answer. I'm going to send you also a link for the online input of your answers to determine kung kayo na ay, kung saan kayo nahihirapan, saan kayo nahihirapan mga tanong. Homework number 2 is 96 square meter lot. Okay na? Nasa handouts nyo naman yun. Module number 1. Okay na? So, sige. If there are no further questions, nasa handouts din, example number 3, 384. Kasi example number 1 yung R1. Yung una natin kinompute kanina 301 square meters. Example number 2, yung 450. Example number 3, yung 90. Example number 4, yung 384. Okay. So, sige. So, you can now have your lunch and please come back. So this is now part 2 of our discussion for residential zones on how to compute for the AMBF and the maximum PSO.